Okay, guys, we have a change coming to the Dragon Ball Legends boost system in PvP. The boost system typically, or tier list system, whatever you want to call it, was typically based on usage. We have multiple tiers. There's a featured tier, which actually is not based on usage. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And there's Z tier, S tier, I believe it's CBA, whatever it is. So that being said, that's pretty much how it works. We could actually kind of scroll down, to be fair. Yeah, A, B, C, S, and Z. Okay, so anyways, so nonetheless, that's how it works. And the characters that get used the least are in Z and S tier. If you, again, for whatever reason, aren't familiar with that, brief rundown. And the characters that I use more, obviously they're lower on the tier, but that means that they get less increases in stats. So the least used characters are typically going to be characters that are at the bottom of your box. Nobody's touching those characters for anything pretty much, outside of maybe the Space-Time Rush, or maybe just a bench character. Like, I'm talking about like just one of my personal favorites, Blue Krillin. Like, when's the last time you used Blue Krillin for something other than a meme, right? So like, those are the characters that are typically going to be in Z tier. Now, there is a split between Zenkai Awoken characters and non-Zenkai Awoken characters, because there are still Zenkai characters that also do fall into that grouping of not getting used, whether it's Z or S tier or whatever, somewhere in the middle, it doesn't matter. So we're going to talk about this and the change that they're doing, because this is a pretty sizable change. And anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. Are you excited about this? Are you upset about this for whatever reason? Let me know. Today's video like was going to be 1,000. I want to say a huge shout out to you guys for hitting that on a recent video. It helped tremendously. That video is one of the better performing videos I've had in a while. So I want to just say, if you hit it, I think it was like a Golden Frieza video. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That being said, if you're new, hit that subscribe sticker for some more content, and we'll have more videos later today as well, just general videos. So anyways, here we go. So changes are happening. So let's see what they say about the Z tier boost in PvP. By the way, these do take effect next season, which is tomorrow. Anyways, so Z tier, before adjustment on before Zenkai Awakening characters, it was 40% damage and 35% to defenses. Now, after adjustment, they get 40% to damage and 40% to defense, but they get this, and you may recognize this, Ultra Ability Style Zenkai ability, or as a buff. That's what it is. It's just a buff. So it's very reminiscent of Ultra abilities. It's pretty much what it is. Per battle member with the same episode, inflicted damage up plus 20%. Now, unlike Ultras, they're not saying, oh, you know, outside of them, you know, it's cancelable, blah, blah, blah. You know, like how Ultras, the language is on Gogeta and SS Blue Kaioken. Like, you know, the language is a little different. It also doesn't say other than this character. There's no split between battle members. Again, language is different from the Ultras, but it's the same type of ability. So let's just kind of break this down. Again, it doesn't say other than this character. So let's just say we take Dragon Ball Yamcha. Yeah, the young Yamcha, the green one. And we put him on a Dragon Ball Saga's team. That's the idea here, okay? You're getting 120 just from the per battle member ability on a full Dragon Ball Saga's team. Obviously, as you start pulling pieces away, maybe you're going more red-yellow or red-green, whatever the Z ability is for characters on your bench, whatever. Like, you start pulling pieces away, the stats do go down for that character, so keep that in mind. But this is a really cool idea. If you were to build out a full team with, like, I don't know, just say there's a bunch of Majin Buu Saga's characters in Z tier. If you built out a full team like that, all those characters would get some pretty nice stat increases. Now, the problem isn't stats on the characters that are in the list. Like I said, we'll reference Blue Krillin again. He really don't do much, bro. Now, I will say this will help, obviously. This will help. He'll do more damage. But it's like, all of these things that are in these kits, not even going as far as like the best of the best, like endurance / revival or null covers, like we're not even going that far, but I mean just like simple things like getting key on switching or enough key to use your blue card that you're going to draw with your main ability. Like these things, very simple things that you probably overlook on these kits these days, these older characters simply just did not have. Okay, the game has changed so much, it's so much more free. These older characters simply did not have very basic mechanics that we see on every character releasing these days. Okay, so again, not upset about it at all, because I think that's a good change, but that's the real problem. But I want to say that this is a nice change, because we complained about that. I remember when the boost system came out, I did videos on these characters. It's like, dude, this is doing nothing. It's doing absolutely nothing. Like you can hardly see the damage increase because the stat disparity was so huge in the first place, and then the unique abilities aren't changing. It's just like, okay, well, you know, so that extra 20% on a full Saga-based team is pretty crazy. Now, are you probably going to be running a full Saga-based team? Probably not. Why? Because there's only like 3 teams off the top of my head that really can do it well. There's like, I guess technically 4. I just don't love saying Saga what they have off the top of my head. I mean, they have Zenkais, they've got a LF, but off the top of my head, I think they're probably missing a few pieces. They have a couple LFs, don't they? Anyways, maybe I should give them some love. Anyways, there's a few teams: Saiyan Saga, Dragon Ball Saga. You have Universe Survival, obviously, and then damn, I don't know, Frieza Saga. There it is. That's the one. So yeah, like Majin Buu Saga's not doing anything. Cell Saga's not doing anything. But again, if you were to run like hybrids, for example, and you put a couple SS2 Gohans, 2 or 3 on the team, and he was in Z tier for whatever reason, you would be getting a good amount of stats. So that's kind of the breakdown on this. Like, also, like, what about like Fusion Warriors? You know, maybe you put a few Vegetos or Gotenks on that team. Again, if they were in Z tier, you're getting a lot of boosts off that. That's how that works. Now, S tier is the same idea, but just weaker, obviously. You get 30 and 25 pre-adjustment, and the post is 30% to attack and defense, and then 10% instead of 20% per battle member. And that's actually more in line with Ultras. That would be 60 across the board. Actually, I think Ultras have an upper cap of, what, 30%? Anyways, that's beside the point. So the thing about the Zenkais is Zenkais are getting 8% and 5% per inflicted. Now let's talk about, wow, that's a huge disparity. After adjustment, yeah, 5 and 10 is still a really big disparity there. Anyways, for Zenkais. So let's talk about the featured system. So here's a look at how things are. So they tell you right here, the featured tier is not based on usage. Instead, this tier includes characters who are new or who have just gained a Zenkai Awakening. So I don't want to misremember, but it's really early, and I feel like this is probably the case. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they put Tag Goku and Vegeta when they were new, or even Ultra Gogeta as well when he was new? They came out around the same time. Anyways, didn't they put these characters in featured for forever and then put them in like S tier for whatever reason? I vividly remember putting out a video like that. So that's where this could be a problem. Okay, it's not like, you know, they're not. Getting that extra damage is crazy. So assuming they don't do something like that, you know, it's not really a terrible thing, but I don't want to see that. But what I will say is, like, those characters being on movies, that also is another group that can actually fit pretty well, because that's in episode 2 now that I think about it. So like, a movie team with like some of these characters could be pretty nice. So like, yeah, that's the only thing we really have to worry about. But featured is separate, okay? Featured is where all your new characters are going to be. So that's the real problem with the featured boost, is that like these characters, when they come out, we didn't want that. We didn't want these characters to look better than they actually are for freaking 3 months. And then, oh, wait a minute, we summoned this character. They're not actually that good, right? So let's take a look at the actual list of characters in Z tier and S tier. Okay, here's a current list of the featured characters, just for an example. These are new free characters in here. We have the new Ultra in here, and it goes as far back as like Jiren, whose banner is still up, obviously, but he's been out for like freaking a month now at this point. We have some Zenkais in here, and Rose and Vegeta. Again, we're going back about a month on here. So Bardock is still on this list for some reason. Bardock's what, 2 months old? Anyways, so yeah, that's kind of an idea what this list looks like. Also, like, they don't have to put new characters on this list. It's kind of whoever they want, because Purple 21's on this list, for example, and she didn't recently get a Zenkai. Neither is she new. They kind of just put her here. Maybe there was an event she was tied into that maybe also gave them the green light to go ahead and do that. Anyways, let's take a look at Z tier and see these characters here. These beautiful, powerful characters, man. I'm going to go ahead and, there's not really a sorting option for what I'm looking for. Okay, so here we have, let's just kind of run through the list, see if we have anybody notable. Okay, got to give some respect to my boy Pycon. He's probably realistically the best character on this freaking list. He probably is. He's probably the newest but / best character on this list. Okay, you know what? I did a video on Lord Slug. Ironically, Lord Slug didn't look terrible. His damage was okay. It was okay, given how old he is. But he would be a character on like a movies team, for example, where you could really see the power of this type of effect. Because it's really easy to just stick him on a movies team and not have to worry about getting saga-based characters. Because that's what it is. Episodes, sagas from the movies. You don't have to really worry about it too much. Gohan here, Buu saga-based character. So it's kind of hard to put him on hybrids and get the same effect unless you're running a bunch of Gotenkses or Goten/Trunkses, which most of that team probably just wants to be Gohan, so you get the point. So outside of that, there's not really a ton in here of note. Pycon also is anime original, not movies. So there's that too, right? Yep, anime original, which I guess there is some anime original stuff that you could kind of run if you really wanted to. But for the most part, this grouping is not anything to be concerned about. I mean, there's Yellow Pycon, but no, I'm not running him. I guess Captain Ginyu could be a fun one with his Dragon Ball manipulation. Let's take a look at S tier here. Now, S tier actually has some better characters here that you may even want to consider using, like the boy, I was going to say Bergadmo, Basil here. He needs to use that green card a little more often. Maybe he'll go in lower tiers. We have other characters here as recently as Red Piccolo. Wow. Okay. Okay. just like Red Pycon, Red Piccolo being here, like Piccolo is not particularly great. But he's so new that he has anti-revive in his kit, if I recall correctly. This character's not even old, but he's in this tier. So like characters like him that are like almost mistakenly placed, it's based on usage, right? Not how old they are, but like they're old and they're in a high tier like this. He probably will look really good, really good. And then again, like the dogs being here, they're probably gonna look pretty solid, man. Especially on Universe Survival, because that's really easy to do. Piccolo's a movies character as well. You kind of see where I'm gravitating more towards with these types of tags or episodes are a little easier to use. What even is this Bulma? She's from the freaking game. Like, what does she have? Game originals? Get out of here. I guess that's 21, right? Shallot's down here, another game original. Yeah, but these are the only tiers changing though. They didn't change A, B, or C. So this is the cutoff to where they're no longer going to get that saga-based or episode-based Z ability. And you can see the type of characters that are put here. Now, again, this list is highly, oh, hey, it's Green Yamcha. Highly subject to change, right? Like, the list isn't going to stay fluid. It always changes. It's based on usage. The only thing that really changes, I guess, a little less frequently would be the featured list. But nonetheless, though, let me know what you guys think. Are you excited, especially after seeing this list? Are you excited about this? Upset about this? Let me know. Are there any? Let me see if there's any Zenkais even in these tiers. Okay, Blue Piccolo. Okay, and then these characters. These are the only characters right now that this really applies to. Yeah, Blue Piccolo. Okay, so let me say this: Blue Piccolo, in his regard, like he is a prime example of them hardly doing anything to a kit, but the sheer stats on Zenkai characters made him look incredible. And I always tell people this, like even the worst of the worst Zenkais will completely decimate a lot of these non-Zenkai characters because the stats are through the roof and they also get the stupid Zenkai ability. But let's go ahead and also give Piccolo that, what, 10% ultra styled ability. Now the thing is, it's kind of hard to run him with Cell Saga. I wonder if they'll consider that going forward, because like what even would be Cell Saga regen based characters? Seriously, like what even, you got to really kind of do these hoops to do that. Let's go ahead and look at just regen off the top of my head. Piccolo has some more tags, but we'll just kind of do that. And then we'll go to Cell Saga. You just have the gymnastics you have to go through. Like, look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Like, okay. Like, what other tag do we have worth note? Super Warrior, Namekian, no. You're not running on anything but regen, or on the leader slot, I guess. So, like, that's kind of how this looks, man. And I guess, like, just, and again, this list, again, will change. I guess here, there's a little bit more fluidity. Like, Khalifa is a character that will look pretty freaking good on USS with this type of ability. She will look pretty good. She's also, that USS is a fully formed good team, right? Well, not fully formed. They could use a couple pieces and they'll probably get them soon. I guess her main issue is that she's purple and Jiren exists, but you get the point. Same with Kaba. If you really wanted to run him for whatever reason, you have options though. And I think that that's the most important thing. This is a cool change. And again, the movies characters, I don't really need to mention them again. This is a cool change, though. I'm excited to see how this list changes. If some of these other characters can creep their way into the groupings there, and maybe we'll have more diversity in PvP overall. So, okay, that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Click on one of the videos on the screen, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one.